Good evening. I'm Way 31 Chief Meteorologist Kate McKenna. Tonight I am thrilled to introduce you to the 2020 Women Honoring Women Doyenne event. Each year, the WEDC Foundation brings this event to North Alabama in grand form. We usually dress up, socialize, have a delicious dinner, and honor some of our area's most influential female leaders. This year has provided us with an opportunity to do things a little differently. We are bringing you the event virtually, and we have a great program lined up for you tonight. It's going to be fun and inspiring. You'll hear from some of the Foundation's scholars, mentors, and former honorees, telling you stories about their journey and how the WEDC Foundation is making a difference in the lives of women in our community. But I do want to remind you, this is a fundraiser. We are here tonight to raise money for the WEDC Foundation as they support the scholars in the program. If you would like to make a contribution to their efforts, you can visit the website scrolling on the bottom of the screen, or simply scan the QR code on the screen at any time during our broadcast. Now, let me introduce to you the President of the Board of Directors for the WEDC Foundation, Karen Morris.
Welcome everybody, and thank you, Kate, for that great introduction to our event tonight. We appreciate you taking the time to tune in this evening as we embark on the virtual version of our Women Honoring Women event. We are doing things a little different this year. However, the impact we can make on the lives of our scholars is still our primary focus. We have the opportunity to explore new and innovative ways to tell our community about the fantastic work we are able to do at the Foundation. I'm Karen Morris, and I serve as the President of the Board of Directors for the WEDC Foundation. And I want to extend a warm welcome to all of you for joining us at our first virtual Women Honoring Women event. As we are going tonight, we want to thank our sponsors. You have done a fantastic job in helping us reach our goal of $100,000. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Woody Anderson Ford. Cathy Anderson and her team have been our sponsors for 6 consecutive years. We are thankful for their support each and every year and for their belief in the mission of the Foundation. Thank you to Five Stones Research Corporation, your gold sponsor this year. This team is led by Joni Green, a former honoree, a current member of the board of the Foundation, and an immediate past president. Thank you also to all of our bronze and corporate sponsors, as you will see their names scrolling across the screen below. Our Diva Duos, sustaining sponsors, and our community contributors. We absolutely could not do for our scholars without your generous support. Thank you all for supporting the WEDC Foundation this year.
We are the team at Woody Anderson Ford. We are thrilled to be the presenting sponsor for the WEDC Foundation's annual event, Women Honoring Women. Why do we continue to support this organization? We believe in their mission. We believe in the power of mentoring and professional development, and we firmly understand how flexible financial assistance given to scholars of the WEDC Foundation can make an impactful difference in the lives of the scholars that the Foundation serves. We first became involved with the WEDC Foundation in 2013, after our President and CEO, Cathy Anderson, became passionate about the work of the WEDC Foundation. Ever since then, we have found strategic ways to partner with and support the WEDC Foundation. Another event that our team looks forward to every year is the annual Drive for Your Community event. This is a great opportunity for us to be involved with our community on behalf of the WEDC Foundation and give our community the chance to drive some very cool vehicles. For every test drive completed during the event, we give a donation to the WEDC Foundation. This is not just an opportunity for us to write a check and walk away. We bring our team, we bring our vehicles, and we provide hot dogs and hamburgers to make it a great community-focused event. We look forward to the upcoming virtual Drive for Your Community event that will happen later this year. We believe in the power of supporting women, mothers, sisters, wives, daughters. We know that when a woman is able to pursue and complete her degree, this greatly increases her ability to provide for her family and her children. The flexible financial assistance the Foundation is able to offer to their scholars is a huge benefit. However, we know that financial support is not the complete picture. Mentoring and professional development are vital to the success of the scholars in the Foundation's program. At Woody Anderson Ford, we have extended an internship to one of the scholars of the WEDC Foundation. She will be mentored by our senior level executives and be exposed to professional development on the job, right here at Woody Anderson Ford. This is all in addition to the mentor and professional development seminars she will attend with the WEDC Foundation. Our intern, Latasha Hawkins, whom you will meet later in the program, was introduced to us through the WEDC Foundation. This is another wonderful component of the formula that makes the Foundation beneficial to the scholars it serves. This year, we have all encountered many obstacles, but also opportunities. Like Henry Ford, we believe in the mission of giving back. Throughout the pandemic, Ford Motor Company not only switched gears and started manufacturing face masks and face shields, but also launched an initiative to donate over 10 million masks to at-risk communities across the United States. Ford Motor Company also offered a free oil change to all essential workers. We at Woody Anderson Ford took this one step further and got our mobile service team involved. During June, July, and August, our mobile service team completed over 750 free oil changes to essential workers on the front lines. We are passionate about taking advantage of every opportunity we have each and every day. We encourage you to join us as we continue to support the efforts and mission of the WEDC Foundation. We have made our contribution to support the WEDC Foundation, and we encourage you to find it in your heart to give also.
Won't you join us in supporting the WEDC Foundation?
Now, I would like to introduce you to Vicki Morris, the chair of the 2020 Women Honoring Women event. Many of you know her from her work in the local entrepreneur community as the host and program director of RISE, a local networking organization for innovators, entrepreneurs, leaders, and business owners. She also hosts a regular webinar series on SCORE Alabama. On top of all that, she owns and manages a marketing and communication firm that has celebrated 5 successful years of service. In her spare time, she serves on the WEDC Foundation Board and Energy Huntsville.
Thanks, Karen, for that introduction. I am so excited to be here with everyone tonight. I hope that you are at home relaxing and enjoying some quality time with a favorite beverage and an open heart. Because over this next hour, we are going to share some stories about the impact the Foundation has on the lives of the scholars of the WEDC Foundation. Before we get to the stories, I want to give a very special shout out to Beth Brooks. She served as the executive director for the WEDC Foundation for many years. After giving so much of herself to the mission of the foundation and dedicating her time and talents to the scholars over the years, she made a very loving decision to spend more time with her husband and family. At the end of last year, Beth officially retired from her position as the executive director of the foundation. Thank you again, Beth, for all the love and dedication you gave to the scholars, the mentors, and the board. Now, are you wondering who's steering the ship after Beth's retirement? Allow me to introduce you to my friend, Jennifer Linton. She is guiding the WEDC Foundation now in her role as executive director. She has jumped in and got right to work. She is making impactful connections with our scholars, matching them up with mentors that are dedicated to the academic and professional success of the scholars. And she does an exceptional job at helping to ensure that the foundation will continue to serve the scholars for many years to come. I present to you, Jennifer Linton.
Thank you, Vicki, for that introduction and for all the work you've put in to make this virtual event a success. As Executive Director of the WEDC Foundation, I love the opportunity I have to affect change in the lives of our scholars and their families, now and in the future. I truly believe that when we as a community educate women, we get to make a generationally positive impact on her family, and on her legacy. You see, my story and my mother's is very similar to those of some of our scholars, and may be similar to yours. I was the first female in my family to go to college and finish it. I got there through hard work and involvement, and paid for it through scholarships and the Alabama PACT funding my mom bought into. I graduated Huntsville High School in 1998, the same year the Women's Economic Development Council created the WEDC Foundation. I came from a single-parent household with a mother who strived daily to make my world a place where success could exist. It is through her example that I have the tools and characteristics to shape my work today. When my mother had me in 1980, she was making $5,000 a year and living in government housing. In the U.S. in 1980, the median income for a low-income household was just over $21,000. In Alabama in 1984, the average annual pay for an individual was $16,000. My mom worked, paid for housing, daycare, and all the regular survival expenses like food for the two of us. I remember eating a lot of rice and beans, but I don't remember being that poor. My mom was careful. She began making choices to make sure I was set up for a good life. She chose to stop dating. She focused on her finances and savings. She worked multiple jobs, strived for better paying ones, and eventually got into government work. To give me the best education, she found ways to move us around the city so that I was attending better schools. When I was old enough to be home alone, she would get up at 3 a.m. to get ready and get to work early. I would carpool with a neighbor to school, and she would be there to pick me up after school so that she could spend the afternoon and evening with me. I was put into activities, took field trips, we volunteered, and I was able to travel with my grandparents. My grandparents were there to help my mom by watching me in the summer, by assisting and making sure my education was more than what school could provide, and making sure that my mom could continue to put her best foot forward. Not all single moms have that kind of support. Why is the WEDC Foundation mission and our scholars important to me? Because I see my mother and the scholars in our program. I know what it's like to watch a mother, my mother, struggle to provide for her child. Our scholars have the perseverance to make things better for themselves and their family. I want to do what I can to make a difference for them, for their children, for their parents, for all who look to these scholars for inspiration. I want the moms and dads, grandparents, aunts and uncles of each of these scholars to know that we, the WEDC Foundation, are cheering your daughters on while we ensure that they have a hand up through mentors, professional development, and flexible financial assistance, which empowers them for success. I am so appreciative to the Women's Economic Development Council members back in 1998 for recognizing the need for this foundation, and thankful for all the sponsors, companies, and individual donors in the community for continuing to support our mission and our scholars. And thank you for watching our virtual event today.
What an amazing story, Jennifer. Thank you for your willingness to give so much of yourself to the efforts and mission of the WEDC Foundation. I want to take a minute to really focus on what the WEDC Foundation provides for our scholars. There are 3 components to what the foundation provides: flexible financial assistance, one-on-one mentorship, and professional development workshops. The flexible financial assistance is typically the aspect of our offer that initially grabs the attention of potential scholars. And it should get attention. Did you know that we give these funds directly to the ladies in our program? This means they can use the funds for books, tutoring, childcare, groceries, new shoes for their growing kids, whatever their financial need is. They are able to choose how best to use the funds for their immediate needs. You see, when a student cannot have to worry about money, they're able to spend that time on studies.
My name is Latasha Hawkins. I'm 23 years old. I'm pursuing a master's in business. I'm currently a student at Athens State University. I will graduate with a bachelor's in liberal studies and human development. I am very fortunate that the WEDC Foundation has offered their hand to support me along my journey. I was raised in the foster care system, and I did not have much academic stability. I had experienced 12 different schools by the 8th grade, and I have fought my way to where I am now. I've always had a high sense of self-worth, but I feel that my self-worth has risen because I feel that my journey has been supported by the WEDC Foundation, and they see my worth as I do. And I feel that they motivate me to push harder and further than I could alone. And that's how they have helped me personally. Professionally, I was able to acquire an internship with Woody Anderson Ford in Huntsville through the WEDC Foundation's help with Cathy Anderson, and I am forever grateful for that. I feel that there are connections in the foundation that will clearly make a difference in the lives of the scholars, and it's a great opportunity and experience that would not initially been had otherwise. Won't you join us in supporting the WEDC Foundation?
Hello again, my name is Kelly Curry. I am originally from Mobile, Alabama. I am a graduating senior from Alabama A&M University. My major is biology, and I have a concentration in secondary education. I'm a single mother, and I intend to be a teacher, preferably high school, upon graduating. I learned about the scholarship through one of my teachers. She brought a flyer to class and said, ladies, anybody interested in a scholarship, I have this one for you. I would say thank you, because without this program, I don't think I would have been able to finish like I did, a strong finish. It was definitely hard, and sometimes you see yourself wondering, how am I going to do this? And so by having the foundation behind me, it's definitely impacting me to push me and have me here to where now I can say, I'm graduating, I'm finishing school, something that I don't know how long would have taken had I not had you guys to back me. Won't you join us in supporting the WEDC Foundation?
Well, good morning, Micah. Thank you for joining us for our Doyenne event for Women Honoring Women this year. You have been a phenomenal mentor for many years, and we just want to learn a little bit more about you and your journey as being a mentor. How has this experience enriched you personally and professionally?
On a personal base, I think, especially coming from a different culture, it really opened my eyes to some of the things that are going on in our area. How other women can struggle, with having kids, going to school, having jobs, and all of this. I mean, things I'm spoiled from. In Germany, we don't have quite those struggles, but it really opened my eyes. And professionally, they studied some of the subjects I didn't study, but how people approach it.
Do you have a personal mantra or saying that keeps you motivated every day?
My mantra is, you can do anything when you put your mind to it and be persistent, but also be honest with yourself. Won't you join us to support the WEDC Foundation?
Thank you, ladies, for sharing your experiences with the audience tonight. We hope that you're beginning to see what your contributions to the WEDC Foundation mean to the lives of the scholars we support. We have lots of opportunities for our community to support our efforts through mentoring and providing internships and paid positions to our scholars. But tonight, we need your financial support. We have set a lofty goal of raising $100,000 $10,000 to support our scholars. Now, I know most of you are not able to give at the $10,000 level, but I do know that there are at least 10 people in our audience tonight that can make that commitment to the WEDC Foundation. Contributions can be made by check or by a contact-free drop-off at our office. There are two other components of our offer for the WEDC Foundation Scholars. I mentioned earlier about mentoring and professional development seminars. Now, most of our scholars will tell you that they initially come for the funds, but what they benefit most from is the mentoring and professional development workshops. It's something every professional needs to have during their career, but most especially as we're beginning our professional life. Mentors help steer our paths and help us think critically about the next phase of our career. Sometimes we need a trusted advisor to give us accountability and encouragement. Beneficial mentoring relationships have been a part of the journey for many successful leaders in our area. At the WEDC Foundation, we are doing our part to make sure our scholars have awesome mentors as they complete their degrees and enter the workforce. Now, I want to switch gears a bit and tell you about something new we have done with the Women Honoring Women event this year. You may have heard us mention the Doyenne event, because this year has given us some new opportunities in how we conduct business. We also took advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime situation and decided to check in with a few of our former honorees this year. These are our Doyennes. They are exceptional female leaders in our community that are knowledgeable or uniquely skilled as a result of a long experience in her field. In other words, she knows exactly what she's doing. This is a results-oriented female leader who possesses the trifecta of power: seniority, authority, and rank. This is a self-confident leader who has obtained each of these through the eyes of others and now happens to be one of our former honorees.
Kim Lewis, who is one of the Doyennes for the Women Honoring Women event for 2020. If you could tell us a little bit about your career, your path, your education, just a little bit about where you are in life as a professional.
I am Kim Lewis. I'm the CEO of Project XYZ, a company that I started back in 2002. And as I shared the year, I was actually honored. When the company started, it started because at the time I was a single mom and I was trying to figure out a way to make extra income. So it wasn't started because it was some big lifelong dream that I wanted to have my own company. It was started out of necessity. I think throughout life, we're thrown a lot of curveballs. Things are going to happen that are completely out of our control, but how you respond to it actually helps determine what the outcome will be. So if you just respond to it as a negative thing or just the end of the world, that's what it's going to turn out to be. But if you look at it as a chance, like you were saying, to pivot, to change, and to figure out a new path down this new road, it can actually lead to great things. They don't give up. Continue to try and figure out what you want, how do you want it, and how to get there. I think a lot of times if you say you want certain things, but you don't lay out a plan to how to get there or go through the steps to get there, it's just a want. You've got to put in the work, you've got to put in the effort, you've got to make sure that you're doing your part of the deal to make sure you can get to where you want to be.
What would you say to encourage people to continue to support the WEDC Foundation?
Well, I would just encourage anybody to give to the WEDC Foundation just from the simple fact you can see tangible results of what's happening in women's lives and how you can see those lives transition into the workforce that we all so desperately need.
Well, Thank you for joining us, Penny. We are excited to have you as a part of our Doyenne event for the WEDC Foundation's Women Honoring Women event for 2020. Thank you again for being here. We look forward to this conversation we're going to have. So first question, we want to know a little bit about you, your career path, and your education background.
During my summers in college, I had worked at banks as a teller during my summers. So I decided I would just go the banking career. And way back when, women were not really thought of in management roles in a bank, because the typical stereotype at that point was you're going to get married, have children, and we don't want to invest in management for you. So I worked my way up through various banking jobs, and I think ultimately to the end it was to my betterment because I've been the whole career field. So I'm a career-long banker, and I had a great time, persistence through what it was. Finally, in 2007, got my job as market president, which was what I guess I've been working for a long time.
Now, you are one of our former honorees, which delegates you to being one of our initial Doyennes. Tell us about your experience when you were an honoree. Walk us through that. What was that like? How did you embrace that opportunity and that experience as being an honoree?
Well, I went back and looked at some of the paperwork from it and everything. That was back in 2013. And when I look at what even just the events have come to be since then, it really has totally changed its culture. But I also look at the others who were honorees serving at the same time. And I was very humbled to be selected as an honoree at that time. And I think the experience itself really reinforced my commitment to have to give back in the community. The scholars and their drive to succeed was totally compelling.
I do have one other question I want to ask you. Looking back on your career and you as a young college student, if this kind of program had been available to you or to some of your peers at the time when you were in school, do you think that this could have been a pivotal point for you and helped you along your career and educational path?
The one thing that impresses me about the program here is it's not just an academic scholarship that hands you money to help your career. But I think what it does is the whole package.
I'm Sherry. Everybody calls me Sherry K in town. My last name's 13 letters long. And I am originally from Michigan and came here with my husband, who's a scientist at NASA. That's how we came from Detroit to Huntsville, Alabama. But while I was there, followed a few career paths and ended up settling on the career of occupational therapy. Did graduate and undergraduate and graduate work in that, and just got very interested in the neurological population. So that's what's brought me here. What I currently do in Huntsville is I'm the director of a cardiopulmonary program, therapy services, our return to work, and then our ALS Treatment Center of Excellence is here at Crestwood Medical Center. At the soul of this foundation are these scholars. And especially during this time when things are just closing and more, and you feel your lifeline is shutting down, potentially even more, to me, it's more critical now than ever to make sure they know that foundation, and I mean figuratively and literally, is still there for them. That it's still a phone call away. You still need to continue on your journey. We're just going to do it a little differently. And so to have the community not forget that these are amazing women out in this community that are juggling so many things that some don't even realize, and at the same time looking for a pathway to give back to their community, to give back to their families. And you just can't pull a foundation out from under that person. That closes doors that just can't be opened again. And that's why it's important to me. It always comes back to the scholar.
Let's pause again so we can remind our audience of the impact your contributions make to the scholars of the WEDC Foundation. If we have 20 people that want to make a contribution of $5,000, we will exceed our goal of $100,000. Don't forget to check the comments on social media for the actual totals as we move through the evening tonight. Our Doyennes are some of the biggest supporters of the WEDC Foundation. They understand the why behind what the foundation offers. They are successful women in our community who have benefited from mentoring and professional development. And most of all, they absolutely understand the powerful impact the foundation is making in the lives of our scholars. Let's hear more from a couple of our Doyennes.
Today, we have the Honorable Judge Sybil Cleveland joining us. We want to ask you a little bit about, if you can share a little bit about your education and your career path.
So there were a lot of challenges going through school, but one goal that I had was to one day attend the University of North Alabama and go to law school. And of course, I did. I ended up going a different career path to get there due to some personal challenges that I had when I lost both my parents. But I went to Calhoun for 2 years, had a great experience out at Calhoun, so grateful.
How do you choose what to do and what not to do, and why was this event something you wanted to do again?
The fact that the WEDC Foundation does so much to help women and to empower women to be independent, to be economically independent.
Now, a lot of people that are successful leaders, they have a mantra or something that keeps them motivated. What is it that keeps you motivated to do the things that you do? Because I know that it can't be easy every day, and every day can't be as sunshine and roses as you may portray it to be on your face. But what do you do? What do you say to yourself? What mantras do you have that keep you motivated and encouraged?
I'm inspired by helping people find hope again. When I go out to give speeches, I usually will close my speech because I talk a lot about challenges and my own personal challenges and the challenges that I have in helping the families and the people in our community. And I usually end it with a quote. It's a quote from a philosopher, Confucius. And it goes something like this, and it is my mantra. Our greatest glory in life is not in never falling. Our greatest joy comes from rising every time we fall.
Well, welcome, Alicia. Thanks for joining us for the Doyenne event for Women Honoring Women in 2020. To find out a little bit about you and your background, what you do professionally, and a little bit about your educational path.
Well, my educational path started with a BS in industrial organizational psychology. I like to laugh. I thought that I wanted to be a doctor, and my mother told me I needed to be in business. So I tell everybody she was my first mentor. She forced me.
If you had this opportunity when you were in college, when you were new in your career, how would this type of opportunity have impacted you if there had been a WEDC Foundation offering scholarships and mentoring and professional development workshops? What kind of impact would that have had on you as a young woman?
I think that at that point in my life, I really didn't believe in myself. I didn't know what was possible. I didn't know that I could one day, be leading a company or start one, heaven forbid. I never would have thought that would have happened. And so it took me longer to learn some of those things. And I think having mentors earlier on would have been a big, huge difference. But it's not just the mentorship, it's the girls, the young ladies working together. It's the opportunities of the strength that they're building with each other that I think also would have been phenomenal.
You had something to say that you can offer to our scholars to encourage them. What would you tell them?
Don't assume that it should just go a certain way, right? Life is going to change every single day. My son said it best last night. We're trying to deal with all the changes that have happened with COVID. My 17-year-old, who I'm very proud of, says, Mom, I think changes are a blessing. And we have been very blessed. God has blessed us a lot. And I think that if we can take that attitude, if we can look at it and go, yeah, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't know what the future is going to bring, but I can step forward and I can still do the hard thing because it will pay off.
Welcome to our Doyenne event for the Women Honoring Women special fundraising event for the WEDC Foundation. We have Joni Green, who is the president and founder of Five Stones Research Corporation, as one of our Doyennes for this year. And we want to spend a few minutes talking with Joni about her experiences as a Doyenne and as a business owner, and why the WEDC Foundation is so important to her.
It's been kind of a journey, and we've kind of taken an interesting route. The businesses that we've been involved in, I have in the past, and the ones that I have now have all been something that I've been passionate about. I think that's a key ingredient for success. If you're going to own or try to start a business, it has to be your passion, because it's very time consuming. When I was a mentor, I knew the mission, I knew what they were doing, and I had my scholar. It was kind of my little pocket, so to speak, of being involved. But after becoming an honoree and learning more and more about the organization, and then becoming a board member and really getting to know how the organization works and the things that they do and how lean and very scholar focused, continue to be genuine. Don't quit. You will get there. And it's an ongoing journey your entire life. Don't think that you'll ever arrive. There's always something else you can learn, something else you can do, something else you can choose to add. I think making sure that your passion is just strong. Find time to rest and have that introspective piece into you, so that you know that you're centered and know who you are, so you can give more. You have to feed yourself so you can pour out. Give what you can, small, little, large, to whatever extent you can. Every dollar that's given for scholars goes to help these scholars reach their educational pursuits, to provide these workshops for them, to help them become more confident and achieve their professional dreams. The foundation is extremely streamlined. The board does all of the work along with it, aside the executive director. There's very little overhead. All of these dollars is poured directly into these young women, and it will change their lives forever.
I am such a believer in mentoring. During each of these conversations we did with our Doyennes, they all dropped amazing nuggets of mentoring knowledge. There was a part of me during each conversation that just soaked up all the mentoring they gave. Even those of us who are seasoned professionals still need and seek professional growth and mentoring. The impact mentoring and professional development workshops have on the trajectory of one's career is simply unexplainable. Look back over your career, your college years, the time you spent in an internship. What if you could have had the opportunity we are creating for our scholars? Maybe you did have this kind of opportunity. Personally, I did have a similar opportunity when in college. I had a professional internship and I had exceptional mentors, and I attended professional development workshops during my college career. It made all the difference for me. The exposure I had to senior level executives and leaders that cared deeply about my professional success. I was accountable to the support system. My mentors were Bob and Lori Burke, Bob Richardson, Dexter Warrior, and Shauna Hollingsworth during my college career. I know no one may know who they are, but the point is I remember them and the impact they had on my professional trajectory. These mentors were in my life over 30 years ago, but their impact on my life is ever present. I know my experience is not unique. These ladies in our program have the same opportunity, but only with your support.
Our scholars are accountable to their mentors and the foundation each semester. They must take a minimum of 5 credit hours, hold a 2.5 GPA or greater, and work at least 10 hours a week, either through an internship or paid position. Along with our flexible financial assistance each fall and spring semester, our scholars are also eligible for academic bonus checks for a GPA over 3.5. We recognize their hard work and dedication to getting top grades. With the flexible financial assistance and academic bonuses, the cost to financially support one of our scholars for the fall and spring semesters is $3,400. Our goal is to accept 25 scholars each year, and that cost reaches up to $85,000 annually. As you know, we also support our scholars in other ways. During the quarterly professional development workshops, scholars gain wisdom in areas both professionally and personally. We hold workshops on a variety of topics, most recently on resume and interview skills, self-worth, and financial fundamentals, setting up their finances for economic independence and growth. We want them to be prepared for real life, how to get that resume to the top of the stack in the HR department, how to succeed in that job and move up in the company, and also to know the importance of giving back to the community. Our scholars have the opportunity to network with each other and seasoned professionals in our community. They are able to attend the in-person Women Honoring Women events, networking with the honorees and guests. They can even attend WEDC luncheon events on occasion and be introduced to the wonderful women in that organization. Beyond their mentors, we want our scholars to build relationships in the community that can assist them in the future and in giving back. Your donation of $1,500 would cover the cost to offer one of these workshops or networking opportunities for our scholars, although the value our scholars receive is much greater. When a scholar begins the program, she receives a lapel pin to recognize her selection as a WEDC Foundation Scholar. She is now part of a legacy of over 180 women that have participated in our program, striving for a better future. Upon graduation, each scholar receives her own strand of pearls for her outstanding accomplishments. We think of the pearls as nuggets of wisdom the scholar has received along her path to success and achievement of her degree. As the Native American author Joyce Hilfer wrote, "Life is made up of a few moments, all strung together like pearls. Each moment is a pearl, and it is up to us to pick the ones with the highest luster." We hope our scholars value their time in the program and the grit that they turned into beauty.
Thanks, Jennifer, for laying out the details of how contributed funds directly help our scholars. We're in the home stretch of our first virtual Women Honoring Women event, and I absolutely want to finish strong. We hope we have struck a chord on your heartstrings. If we have increased your awareness of the need of the foundation, please consider making an impact on the lives of one of our scholars. A contribution of $500 makes a difference. If that's a level that is most comfortable for you, please hop online and make that commitment. If you want to make a monthly commitment to the efforts of the WEDC Foundation, that option is also available for you. Just visit the donate page at WEDC. Choose the monthly option when donating, and you're done. You'll have a wonderful feeling every month knowing that you are honoring your commitment to supporting the WEDC Foundation and helping a scholar reach her goal of success. Also, if you're interested in being a mentor or providing internships for our scholars, please contact the Foundation office at 256-652-1600 to find out how to get involved. Well, we've come to the end of our evening tonight, and I do hope that you've enjoyed the time we've spent together. I for sure have had a great time hosting this year's event with Kate McKenna. Be sure to visit our website, like our Facebook page, our Instagram and LinkedIn pages, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And most of all, send that check, charge that card, make the commitment to support the efforts of the WEDC Foundation mission and our scholars. Thank you and good night.